Wow, this is like unbelievable. I can't believe this. So it's around 6:30 p.m. now on Saturday, July 27th, 2024. I'm actually going through folders and papers that I've been keeping in that giant tote bag that you see over there for safekeeping because Jasmine Irizarry, the surveillance using hate stalking psychopath, seems to know pretty much everything that I have in my unit up in Boston and where I keep it, including items that I keep in that bag. And items that I've been storing in that bag over the last few months have disappeared or been vandalized. I just opened this folder right here for the first time in weeks, and it stinks like fish. These are brand new tissues that I had put into this container a few weeks ago, and the tissues smelled fine. They were straight out of a brand new box, and I had put them in this folder for safekeeping, and the entire folder, as soon as I opened it, stank like urine or like fish. I mean, one or the other, but it smells like both. And Irizarry the psychopath has a pattern of contaminating my personal items, my cosmetics, my food. She just contaminated the milk in my dad's fridge sometime over the last 4 or 5 hours. 2 containers of milk that were purchased just 26 hours ago and that had not been touched by myself or my dad suddenly emptied out by themselves and were opened. Both containers were opened. The caps were opened. When I drank one of them, the milk made me instantly sick, and I'm still dealing with some cramps from that. And the other container of milk was 1/4 empty. Both of them were sealed and full when we brought them back from the store yesterday. I would have noticed if one of them was 1/4 empty. Even legally blind people can see that a container is, empty or full. So I've just had to empty out this folder right here. These are the tissues that stink like urine. And again, I had just put them into this folder a few weeks ago, brand new tissues straight out of a fresh box. Somebody has contaminated them, and now I have to spray everything down with rubbing alcohol, which I carry with me because the contamination of my stuff over the last 10 years, since Mr. Oleg Lisseyev moved Jasmine Irizarry into the unit next to mine, Unit 78 at 5 UNAV in Jamaica Plain, in 2013, he even admitted that he had moved Jasmine Irizarry into Unit 78 next to mine in 2013. That's when all the vandalism and foul-smelling contamination of my personal items started happening, when I was away at work or when I was down the hall in the common bathroom for a few minutes with my door unlocked. I also just noticed that one of my cell phones is missing from inside that bag. I've been storing old cell phones in that bag for safekeeping because these old cell phones have videos, photos, and text messages to and from the Greenville group that incriminates the Greenville group in some criminal activities, including landlord-tenant harassment and the use of surveillance devices in my living space. And those phones have disappeared from inside that bag. One of those phones just went missing. The other 6 that I had in a bag at the bottom of this bag, a zipped Ziploc bag, disappeared a few months ago, again from the inside of this bag. Where would anybody know that I had a Ziploc baggie with 6 old cell phones containing videos and photos documenting Greenville's harassment and dysfunction over the last 10 years? Well, I'll tell you who would know that. Somebody who uses surveillance devices in my living space and knows exactly which items I keep in that bag and where they're located in the bag. So again, I just now noticed that this folder right here that I had filled with brand new fresh tissues a couple of weeks ago that didn't smell like anything, they were straight out of the box. These tissues now smell like urine or like fish, urine and fish. I had to empty the contents of this folder just now. The papers are right there. They're drying out, but they smell like fish and urine too. And now I have to spray the inside of that folder because it's obviously been contaminated by somebody who keeps managing to get into not just my apartment up in Boston, but my dad's unit down here and the contents of that bag right there, even though I keep that bag with me almost all the time. Yeah, just had to spray this whole thing with rubbing alcohol. And now there's a lot of marijuana fumes coming from the bathroom located directly behind my dad's bathroom, where Irizarry the psychopath has been making a lot of slamming and banging noises multiple times per day whenever I've gone into that bathroom over the last 10 days. Irizarry is obviously being housed or sponsored by Catherine, the neighbor, who apparently is some kind of a BLM supporter and lets BLM activists into her unit. And my stuff has been getting vandalized down here, just like it has been getting vandalized in the exact same manner up in my unit in Boston since 2013, again, when Mr. Oleg Galiseyev, the property manager, told me he had moved a psychopath named Jasmine Irizarry into the unit next to mine, and he made no bones about telling me that she's a really talented surveillance expert and a super talented hacker who can get into anything. So, you do the math on that one. The inside of this folder that smelled perfectly fine 2 weeks ago when I had put these tissues in it and a bunch of papers that are documents that I'm trying to preserve now smells like urine and like fish because somebody contaminated deliberately the documents in this folder along with a packet of brand new tissues that I had just pulled out of the box that didn't smell like anything. And no, the fish smell and urine smell is not coming from me. I haven't even touched this folder since the last time I put it in that bag, which was 2 weeks ago. So again, I just noticed that one of the old cell phones, this is one of them, I had another one that looked just like that in the bottom of that bag, is gone. Irizarry, the psychopath, apparently somehow managed to nab it during one of her many trips into my unit over the last few weeks, usually when I'm down the hall in the common bathroom with my door unlocked, or she nabbed it over the last 10 days that I've been down here visiting my dad, and he doesn't always lock his front door, and Irizarry seems to have gotten in here on multiple occasions over the last few weeks and tore holes in my nice clothing, just vandalized the milk exactly in the same manner she's been vandalizing the milk in my unit since 2013. So now I can't even buy quarts of milk. I have to buy small individually sealed bottles of milk and use them up all at once. I stopped being able to purchase large gallons of milk and keep them in my fridge in my unit in Boston because Irizarry, the psychopath, was so prolific at getting into my unit and contaminating my milk that I now have to buy individual small sealed bottles of milk. And then the contamination doesn't happen because I drink the milk all at once and I open the bottle and then drink it. I don't leave it lying around for days in the fridge because then it gets contaminated by the psychopath. I have to take her to court. I also have to take the Greenville group to court and potentially look into her sponsorship under BLM because that is pretty obvious as well at this point.